Hey everybody, it's Robert, the Asian film junkie, back. It's another week, so it's another review, and this time it shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever because we've been going in order. So this week it's Kenshin season 3, and I watched all of these over the course of the past week since last Wednesday when I posted the season 2 review. Since then I've watched all of season 3 for the first time. And I hated it the first time I watched it. This time that I watched it, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not anywhere near as good as season 2 or even season 1, but on its own merits, it's 100% filler. It has nothing to do with the manga, and the reason for that is I found out doing some research for this that there are no seasons in Japan for Kenshin. The seasons are just arbitrarily placed by Aniplex and Anime Works for these DVDs. Kenshin actually ran year-round without any breaks. So Nobuhiro Watsuki was still writing the Genshu arc, or I guess you could say season 3 of the manga. And they couldn't take a break, so they just kind of made up their own story. So, I mean, let's get started. And some minor things before we get started too terribly far. I'm going to be referring to a lot of stuff as filler. And as I said, all of it's filler. But when I refer to a filler episode, in this context, it's an episode that is not part of a multi-episode arc. So if it's just a one shot, it's filler in the case of this. So from 63 to 66, and these are episodes, it's for the most part it's terrible filler. There's one pretty decent episode. It's called The Legend of the Fireflies, and Kenshin meets this fisherman, and the fisherman tells him the story about this guy who wanted to be the greatest swordsman ever, and he's wandering around killing people, and finally one day he realizes that the ultimate power that he sought wasn't, it was a myth. And so he comes back and he finds out that this girl who he was in love with waited for him for 25 years and she died, and it's really sad. And then you realize that he's the guy, and I mean, honestly, at this point, you should have realized that that was coming, even though it's never overtly stated. So, apart from that one, there's a Prince and the Pauper episode where this prince gets attacked. They try to kill him, and he gets knocked out. But he's got this formal dinner that he goes to, but he can't anymore, and it's going to ruin relations between Japan and this other country, and it's a fictional country. But luck would have it, Yahiko looks exactly the same, so they dress Yahiko up, and you know, Yahiko is anything but proper. So you get this funny blah blah blah. It's pretty terrible. And then you had a stupid episode with a dog who gets a key to this treasure, and it's just stupid. But so once you get past the first few episodes, you get to episodes 67 through 76, and this is the Amakusa Shogo arc. I'm just naming it arbitrarily, whether it's got an official name. You could also call it the Christian arc. Basically what happens is you have this guy who was being trained for Hiten Mitsurugi, and the final test is the master's Kazuriasen versus the student's Amakakuru Ryo no Harameki, and if the student defeats the master, then the master dies and the student becomes the new master. Unfortunately, in this case, the Kazuriasen won. So his master thought he was dead, moved on to training someone new. And he's not dead. So he's going around, you know, doing his thing, and he comes across this Christian, little Christian boy, and his family gets murdered by the anti-Christian edicts that Tokugawa put in place. And it's all historical accurate. Tokugawa didn't like Christians, so there was some major anti-Christian laws put into place. So you get this really powerful scene, excuse me, where the dad's telling the son, hey, you know, you gotta grow up and be a strong man, and he just gets stabbed with a spear straight through his chest. Blood squirts on the kid's face, and he makes it away. They run, and the mother's sick with tuberculosis, and she gets killed, but not before she tells the master to take her son and her daughter away and save them. And he witnesses his mother being shot, and then as he comes around the cliffside, you see all these Christians crucified on the cliffside. I don't know if any of that happened, like if it was that bad. I know there was some pretty stiff penalties for being Christian. I know that death was on the line, but as far as the mass crucifixes, I don't know. I probably wouldn't put it past them, but anyway, it's a really powerful scene, and this is for one reason why I actually like Shogo a little bit more than Shishio. And don't freak out because I said that. Shishio is a much better villain. He's better in every way. Shishio probably would have killed him. Actually, I don't know that. Shogo versus Shishio. I don't know who would win. I think Shishio would come out on top eventually. Mainly because Shogo doesn't have the final move. Shogo doesn't have Amakakuri no Harameki. Well, he does, but it's not the real one. It's his own invention. Anyway, I'm digressing. So moving on, Kenshin is fighting this dude, and Kenshin gets blinded. Yeah, this guy's Hitchen Mitsurugi power is, one of his powers is to use a lightning strike, and the strike reflects off of his sword and blinds Kenshin. So now Kenshin becomes even more hardcore because he can't see, so now he's like a blind Zatoichi type character where he's just like, oh, I know where you are. Overall, this arc's not terrible. You give it about an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not terrible. So after that, we move on to 77 and 78. It's just more filler. It's not important. So after that, we get 79 through 82, and that's what I'm affectionately calling the Katsu arc. And it's pretty good. Let's see. Do I have it within arm's reach? No, I don't. Not within arm's reach. Is it over there? Well, I thought I had it within arm's reach, but I guess I don't. Anyway, there's a light novel called Kenshin and the Journey to the Moon, and that's pretty much what Katsu, the Katsu arc is. It starts off and they meet this guy, and he's reading Jules Verne, Voyage to the Moon, and you find out that he worked with Tokugawa Ieyasu, and I'm not going to give it away. It's a short arc, but it's pretty good. It's only 3 episodes, and honestly, I would probably say that was one of my favorites from this specific arc, or season rather. It was pretty good. I liked it. So after that, we've got 83 through 88, and that's the Black Knight arc. And you get these German knights who come over, and they're looking for this fountain of youth type thing. It's going to make them live for all eternity, and they finally find it, and it's pretty good. They team up with these ninjas, and I mean, it just goes all over the place. And it's this point where they kind of start going out of reality a little bit. And that's what I've always liked about Kenshin, was that it was very grounded in reality. But it's kind of like, okay, let's just make it a little bit more fantasy at this point. And it's not too fantastical. I For all I know, there could be a magic cure-all plant somewhere that if medicine is made from it, that it cures everything. Who knows? But it's just a little fantasy for Kenshin, and but it's not bad. You actually kind of grow to like some of the German characters. They're not all bad. So after that, you have a single episode with Misao and Aoshi. It's okay. I mean, it's not bad. There's this really funny scene where they're all at all the women. So you've got Kaoru, Misao, Megumi, and the two female Oniwanbanshu characters from season 2. I don't know their names. And they're at a shrine, and you're going through each one of them, and Kaoru's is, please let Kenshin know how much I love him, and the other two are like, oh, do this. And then it gets to Misao, and she's like, please let Aoshi know how much I love him. And then it gets to Megumi, and it's like, hey, can you make him not such an idiot? And it's obviously that she's talking about Sanosuke, and it's pretty funny because it's really the first time in the series where it's overtly stated that she is in love with Sanosuke. And unfortunately, it's not canon, so I don't consider it canon anyway. So after that, 90 through 94, you get the Feng Shui arc, and this is where it goes like straight up fantasy. It's completely lost in the realistic world. Basically, you've got these ninja from beyond the Tokugawa era, and they want to control the chi lines, and we got one group who wants to maintain these lines, and that will make Japan prosper and it'll protect Japan. But you've got these other group that wants to destroy the lines, thus making them be able to control the chi flow, and they'll be able to take over Japan. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just like, let's take it and we'll completely go left field. We'll completely go with a fantasy route. And I believe in chi. I believe in a deeper mystical life force that we don't understand. But I don't believe that it can be utilized in such a manner. But what do I know? And this is where it gets weird. Netflix has episodes 1 through 94, but if you remember from my season 1 review, there's 95 episodes. Netflix does not have the final episode of Kenshin. That final episode is called End of Wanderings, and it's right here in the season 3 box set. You can find it online. I did look so I could watch it at work, and all I could find were broken videos that didn't have any audio. So it's here. You can find it online, and it's a good episode. It's a good ending to the series. I prefer the manga ending personally. So that's it. I mean, that's all of season 3. I know it's a lot to go through, but overall, I mean, it's not terrible, and it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. On its own merits, it's not bad. By itself, I'd give it about an 8. If this was the first thing that I ever watched of Kenshin, and I've never read the manga, I'd give it about an 8 and say that it was a pretty good manga, or anime rather, and would like to see more, maybe. Luckily, I saw season 1 and season 2 before this. So, opening themes from 63 to 82, we have One Half return from Makoto Kawamoto, and again, my Japanese is horrible, I know. But from 82 to 85, you go to Kimi ni Furiru Dake D. I know. And that's by Curio. Closing themes, you have from 63 to 67, It's Gonna Rain, Bonnie Pink. 68 to 82, you have One Third No Jujel Na Kanjo by Siam Shade. And from 82 to 95, you have Dame by Izumi. And one half is pretty good, and the other one's not terrible either. I prefer the season 1 opening, and even the season 2 opening's not nearly as bad. But that's a personal preference. You might like something else more than I like, and that's fine. Closing theme, nothing's as good as Heart of the Sword. Probably the my favorite. I know it's my wife's favorite, and it's probably my favorite too. It's up there. So just an overview, a wrap up, as we say. Season 1 is excellent. It's iconic, and I give it, a 95%. It's got some bad stuff in there, mostly from the filler on the tail end, but it's about 95% accurate to the manga. Season 2 is 100% accurate to the manga, and I give it a 10 out of 10. It's excellent. Everything about it is fantastic. Season 3, in comparison to seasons 1 and 2, I probably give it a 5 out of 10, but on its own merits, I give it an 8 out of 10, and it's obviously 0% accurate to any manga. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And next week we're going to do the OVAs. I'm just going to do both of them, Trust Material and Reflection, all in one video. They're not too long, so I think I can do that. And then after that we're going to move into the new Kyoto arc, and after that to the live action movies, and then we'll be done with Kenshin. And I got a little surprise after I'm done with the live action movies, so I'm working on something special. So I mean, that's it. So I will see y'all next time, and God bless, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, amazing, super awesome week. Peace.